Okay, I was just having some fun with that. Hello and welcome to the Not So Weekly, another Gear Show stream. I have been absent the past few weeks because of work and personal things. I am kind of figuring at this point that the streams is not going to be the best option for me because my work schedule is so erratic. But I wanted to get one more to let you know that and just kind of close out this phase of the experiment. I'm going to try to move to more of like what I used to do, where it was a pre-cut video, and then maybe I'll do like once a month where I go live, where I have a definitive time block where I can do that, and we can discuss whatever was brought up topic wise. I have no idea if Wacko is going to be joining me today. I know he was busy, so if he can show up, great. If not, we'll carry on. So today I want to talk about non-standard use, and what I mean by that is you get something and it's either used for not what it was designed for, or it's modified for its purpose. And what this stems from is I have many of these Maxpedition notebooks. You know the kind. I'm sure you've seen it. It's super simple. Oh, I only have the one camera because I updated OBS and it ate all of my settings, so I've got to restore those. But anyway, um, I was working on this notebook, or more accurately, I was working on something that Joshua Enyart over at the graybeardedgreenberet.com was talking about, and that is a navigation notebook, your navigation kit in a notebook where you can keep your maps, your pens, your all of the stuff. Um, Now, as I said, I've got a couple of these Maxpedition notebooks, and when you get them, they're floppy. They're they're it's just a shell. Battleboard has these wax canvas ones, and apparently they didn't sell very well. They're on clearance right now. So with the sheet in the front here for a map pocket was cheaper than the basic Right in the Rain or Maxpedition uh, notebook cover. So okay, great. I didn't process when I ordered this that yes, there's this rigid map pocket in the front. That there would be a similar rigid back to it. And there was, which kind of defeated the purpose of, like, okay, yeah, I've got my notebook, I've got my writing stuff in here, but I also keep my compass and my pace counter in here. And if it's rigid, it didn't fit properly. So I ended up having to cut it open and tear out the liner, which I was honestly expecting to be plastic, similar to the all-weather notebook, or not notebook, the all-weather binders, which is, a rigid plastic. It's not. It's this. I'm not even sure what this is. It's fibrous, and it's difficult to tear. It's not impossible, obviously, but it's super rigid. I did some digging on the company, and apparently, I believe they're an Indonesian company that makes like shoes and stuff. So it's like, oh, okay. I don't know. This stuff just fascinates. I don't know why. It's trippy. Um, but I had to literally rip a hole in the binder in the cover, which I still haven't finished defuzzing. Um, and there's a little padded foam in there, but now I have room for uh my compass and my pace counter. They just sit in the back like so. and it closes up flat enough that it can slip in a cargo pocket. Um, the map cover on the outside pocket was the biggest reason I went for this, because I do like the idea of having at least a layer of protection. I'm not, I don't always have waterproof maps or water resistant maps or whatnot. So being able to give whatever I'm working on a little bit extra protection is always good. But that kind of got me to thinking, and it's like one of the things that I see in a lot of prepping channels is, what is the right gear for me? What's the best bug out bag? What's the best EDC? What's the best, what's the best wallet? What's the best, pouch for this or container for that? And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's going to change because your taste, your skill set, and your financial situation is going to change. You may have the money to get yourself a nice bag that is basically, what's a good example? Uh, you may be able to get yourself a GoRuck, like a GR1, which is basically a flat pocket and a big open compartment. Um, or you could get yourself like a 511 rush bag that's got compartments and compartments and organization for everything. It's going to depend on what your budget and what your use case is, but it doesn't have to be the end all be all. I'll give you an example. My first built everyday carry bag was a Rush 24. And at the time, I loved it because it had all the little nooks and crannies for pens and notebooks and little sunglasses pouch and the little, all the, it was too much. It was too much. And I realized this as I kind of gained experience and confidence with my everyday carry and kind of started figuring out what my everyday carry was. I realized that the organization was overkill. Um, I am comfortable enough in my gear selection and my skill set that honestly, if I have gear in a duffel bag, I can make it work. Um, Organization is important, but I found that the hyper organization of having everything in its own little place got to be overwhelming. It got to be too much. It's like, I don't need all of this. I need, one place where my pens are and my notebook. I don't need each pen in an individual pocket and a notebook that is wherever. It was too much. I'm currently revising building a new EDC bag. I say EDC bag. It kind of be basically a beefed up truck bag maybe. And I'm using a GoRuck GR2. And it may seem overkill because of the size, but I personally have enough discipline that it's like I'm going to not fill the bag. It's going to have my criticals in it. It's going to have my everyday carry stuff in it. But it's not going to have things like, uh, you know, spare socks. That's in the duffel bag of clothes that I keep in the truck for work. It's not going to have tools in it because I carry my work tools with me all the time. So I will cannibalize from that kit to supplement what I've got. And it's easy enough to go, well, if there's an emergency and you need to grab and go, okay, but what are the odds of that? Okay, we're not expecting any major storms. Um, we're not expecting anything really. So if it happens, it'll probably be some kind of abstract or not abstract, some kind of fluke natural thing, sinkhole, or maybe a flash storm does some damage or something like that. But that kind of what if mentality, it has it has caused me to waste a lot of money in this hobby. Um, now don't get me wrong, I have some cool toys and some really neat bags because of What If. But at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, great. I bought that for, you know, a scenario that I came up with, and it's impractical. Okay, so I use it in a different way. But coming back to it, a lot of thought is like, well, what is the best bag for this? And I'm going to use one of my hobbies as an example. Give me a second to clear this stuff off. I'm not going to put it back in. That takes too long. I'm just going to move it. And as I said, I am currently down to just this camera for right now because I have not reconfigured yet. I think you can hear the airplanes in the back. So we'll start with a small one. This is a tripod case. This is for precision shooters who use tripods. This is to be able to attach that tripod to your kit. Ooh, I got a beep about something. What's up? Oh, yeah. That's just Wacko. Let me know he may show up. So what I use this for, because I have different tripods for my cameras, I carry my antennas in it, or some of them anyway. So I have this antenna roll for one of my VHF UHF, and then I have this like thin poster tube that I carry smaller antennas for HTs in. But you know, this is a tripod case. It's overkill, it's overbuilt for what I'm using it for, but it works. Another example, sticking with the radio, and I'll end up doing a video on this specifically, my HF radio kit. My HF radio kit fits in this slimline bag. It's everything that I need, with the exception of power recharging, because I don't have that yet. This is a medical bag. This is designed to be thrown open and bags to be torn out for pressure dressings, for meds, for what have you. And if you go on, you'll see like what is it Mike over at Ham Radio Tube, I think. He's always on the look for like the perfect ham radio bag. Because he does a lot of Parks on the Air stuff. There are guys that use the Craftsman stackable, or the Milwaukee pack out for their stuff. You know, they get what just chirped?
That was me.
It's Wacko.
I'm late to the show. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I've just kind of been rambling on about non-standard usage.
In a good way or a bad way?
A bit of both. Kind of going on about how people will get hung up on trying to find just the perfect thing, when finding the appropriate thing would be better. Like, for example, I was just talking about how I keep my antennas in a tripod bag. No modification necessary. It just happened to be the physically most appropriate thing for what I'm doing.
Right.
And this kind of stems from the attitude of, I need to find the perfect, you know, everyday carry bag, or I need to find the perfect tool bag, or whatever. It's like, ultimately, no, you don't. You need to find the most appropriate bag. And that includes modifications to stuff. That's getting back to, I was showing them, and I'll show you, my navigation notebook, which is just a basic notebook, but it had this rigid liner in it, that prevented me from stuffing my compass and my pace counter in it. So I had to gut this thing like a fish to get that out. I was like, well,
Right.
you know, how many people will sit and pour over internet reviews and be like, I got to find the perfect bag. I got to find the perfect thing. It's like, no, you've got to find the most appropriate thing. You've got to find what will work the best. You're never going to find that perfect thing unless you sit there and go, this is what I have. It's never going to change. This is how I use it. I'm going to have to make it myself. I got news for you. Preppers aren't doing that. They are just not.
They're not?
No. No, preppers, it's funny. Preppers would rather spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on the wrong thing. And then it's like, oh, yeah, like, okay, I'll be the first to admit, I have a lot of bags. I have probably high teens of like backpacks and rucks and things like that. Um, some of them I got them for, aesthetic reasons. Some of them I got because I got them free at work. I did a GoRuck Star Course a couple years ago, and my mind was like, oh, it's a Star Course. I need a bag that I can put a stars patch on from Resident Evil. And they had done a lighter version of their GoRuck bag that was for Star Courses, and it's like, I need that bag to go with that patch for this thing, and it's like, why? I spent like $100 on that bag for no reason other than there was a symmetry to it.
Not at any time, only when it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have cobbled together a flight simulator using non-standard application.
Yeah, what I would have mentioned at the beginning is if it can be modded to suit you better, it must be modded to suit you better.
Oh, yeah.
There are no warranties that bind my hand.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's talk about warranty. GoRuck has, I'm using them because they're at the top of my head right now. GoRuck has this lifetime scars warranty. If you damage your bag, you send it back to them, they fix it up, which is great. What if you're in a situation where that bag fails or some part of it rips over and whatnot, and you can't send it back? What if you're overseas doing something? What if you're just in a shitty situation and that bag fails on you? You need to have the skill set and the mindset to be able to modify or repair to be able to keep going. That's another thing. It's like, oh, I just got this bag and it's got a lifetime warranty and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, a month later, they're like, well, yeah, I did have this bag and now I got this one because it's got, whatever the new bell or whistle is,
Add bell or whistle to your existing pack.
Yeah.
John Carmack?
The Daikatana guy?
No, that's John Romero.
John Romero. God damn it. John Carmack.
John Romero and John Carmack are friends. They got together and made Doom. But John Carmack is a certified genius, an actual genius.
Okay.
He sees problems like other people doesn't, and then he solves them.
Right.
He sends drivers to NVIDIA.
Oh.
Right. Hardware manufacturers weren't accelerating the 3D the way he wanted them to, so he sent them the instructions on how to do it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he once said one of the reasons that he's been as successful as he is, one of the reasons that you can act smart is to have like 10 problems going on in your head all the time, and then you encounter solutions and you just see if any of them line up. So yeah, you're just like, oh, this thing could do this and this thing could do that. Now that's not going to work, and you move on.
Right.
Eventually, you'll find thing A and thing B, and you'll put it together. And everybody's like, wow, how did you ever think about that? It's like all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Which is the philosophy I use, which is why I have a flight simulator now.
It really is like it's a spider configuration in my head, I think is the best way to describe it. And by the way, whistle. So Um,
Why did you tell me to whistle? Oh,
I
don't
have,
forget,
I have,
I'm viewing this on a bit of a
oh,
delay.
that's right. Yeah, no, I have a whistle. So, um, bells and whistles. So like for me,
You have the newest bells and whistles in your bag, is what you're telling me?
yes, it's so okay. When you do see it, you'll finally see this is just an orange plastic whistle, not to be
Yeah, I see it.
confused with the whistle that I have that I use when I'm hiking with my ultralight stuff, which is it's about the size of a pen cap and it's made out of titanium. Because why not? Oh, I perfectly serviceable whistle right here, and there's no noticeable weight difference to me between the two. I know obviously there is a weight difference, but it's like, oh no, this orange plastic thing is too much. I need a high-speed titanium whistle that will not crack in cold weather or whatever my thought process when I bought it.
Titanium
Ugh.
was cool. That's what you were thinking when you bought it.
Oh, 100%. I will be so I make no bones about me being into prepping because I like the toys. That's ultimately what it is. So yes, it very much it's like, oh that's cool. I like that. I want that. Um it again that has also led to a lot of money that went into things that maybe not necessarily needed, but definitely wanted. Um but no, getting back to it, I thinking about what you were saying about Cormac. Um, I think for me, it's kind of a spiderweb thing where it's like I will start on one project idea, and then as I'm working around that, it will kind of trigger thoughts as to other ideas. Um, like like I have a bushcraft bag, and I have a 19-inch handled axe, camp axe for processing, helping process wood and whatnot. And then it was like, okay, well, I need something to keep the axe sharp, so I need sharpening equipment, which I already had for my knives, but I need something a little beefier for the axe. But in doing that process, I'm also thinking, well, what do I already have that can supplement or that will work? Um, and then when it went time to start packing the bag, it was like, this doesn't fit anywhere. This doesn't fit right. So I jumped online and was like, how are people modding this bag? And nobody was modding the bag except the guy who created this particular bag. And he's like, here's what I did for weird shit that goes in the bag. I made a mesh front for it out of 550 cord. I can do that. Did some weaving, did some macrame, did that. But then I was like, okay, that works. It's not great, but it works. But that got me to thinking, what if I could just sew in like a net with like a little pull string choke to it? I
Right.
thought, yeah, I could do that. I have a sewing machine. I know people who sew if I get hung up on something. And then it was like, okay, well, I'll shelf that project for now. And then I'm working on, I was working on, what was I working on for work? I forget what it was, but we needed a way to carry some awkward shit. And it was like, I had this thought in my head for a little bungee net thing. And it was like, okay, is this something, I can utilize here or whatnot? And long story short, I'm rambling. I ended up using concepts of things that I use for like my bushcraft kit uh, on stages for helping to move equipment from the ground to the perms. I'm finding myself using modifications for smaller equipment um, to just make my life easier because there's this big push for smaller and smaller stuff in the community. Um, one of the things that was popular for a while is Altoid tin survival kit, and it's like, no, no. Here's dropping shit. Here's where I'm at. I know you won't see this for a minute, but I'm putting my glasses on. I'm to this point in my life, okay? This is where I'm at. I don't want to deal with little shit, but I don't have it in here. But that it always leads to, like, I think the best way to sum it up is, what does it do and how well does it do it? And the number of times I've come across stuff that doesn't quite work, but it's like almost there. It's like 85% of the way there. That makes me want to think about, okay, how can I improve it? How can I modify it? How can I make it 90% or 95%? Because I know.
Oh,
what?
I was going to give you an example.
Oh, please.
So I talk about that Amazon liquidation store all the time.
Yeah.
And one time, our friend Admin had found a box of quick green screen. I
Okay.
can see why it was returned, because it only went up to like 6 feet. Like, you couldn't. It was supposed to be a thing you could stand in front of, but it just didn't get high enough to do that.
Okay.
But I needed an extra wall of green screen out on the SimStar, my simulator.
Right.
So I had these 2 tripods from a $5 box. Right?
Okay.
They're worth more than that, but they're tripods, and then there's a pole to go across the top, and then you take the green fabric and you pin it to the pole with those big clothes hanger looking things.
Yeah.
Clamps. Those big clamps.
Yeah.
And I just said it didn't get high enough, right? I could strap it to the side of this big aluminum, the size of a man case that I had, but
Okay.
the feet was stopping me from doing that. I couldn't put it on there because the feet didn't fit on there. They had to go. So I thought about it for about a minute, pulled out a drill, popped the rivets on them, removed the feet, and strapped those things onto the case so that I can move on. Most people would go, "Oh, but you're ruining the pole. A pole that I spent $2 on?
Right.
Am I gonna go to the store and buy different pole?" No, I'm already done.
Right.
Clamp, 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 clamp. Something that would take somebody else a week, I did in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't afraid to turn it into what I wanted it to be. And that sometimes means you have to destroy it to get it.
Right. I think, and that's the thing. It's like, are you willing to, I hate to use the word sacrifice, because it's not like that piece
That's
of
a
it.
good one.
Well, it makes it sound like that piece is like no longer usable for anything. And
Are you
that's,
willing to sacrifice future usability for usability today?
I
Most
suppose
people would say
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I suppose that I guess that is a good word. So yeah. And and that's the thing. It's like, why not? Why not? Like, especially if you've got a habit of throwing money at a problem, which I'll admit there have been times in my life I've been able to do, but it's like, dude, I've watched your channel for 3 freaking years, and I've seen you go through 20 backpacks, and you always give 4 or 5 of them away at Christmas time. And it's just like, no, you're not going to keep this. Why do you care? You already have that track record of, this is cool. This is the coolest thing ever. It's not perfect, so I'm just going to put it in the closet and not think about it.
I can answer that question. It has not occurred to them that they could do that. They've been taught all their lives that you got to keep the value of something. They've been taught that their whole lives. And they've also been taught that it's not okay to gamble. Yes, it is. The rule is, don't gamble anything you're not afraid to lose.
Right.
You're not afraid to lose this bag.
Right.
So you can do the modifications you need. And if it doesn't work out, there's no reason to feel shame. You go, well, crap, that doesn't work out. And then the next time, you know that, and you're able to modify it better.
Yeah.
And you've lost nothing because you've already given that bag away.
Yeah.
Does it have $100 value? To who? Screw that. You're not even going to sell it for money. Modify it. Do it. Take the scalpel to it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. I've been in a weird headspace the past 24 hours. It's why I didn't jump on your stream last night. I was not in the place for it. So I'm kind of throwing this together last minute, and I'm trying to think of like other examples, other processes and concepts of, you know, don't let don't let stock hold you back. Because like in my industry, it's really weird. Like in rock and roll shows, all of the weirdness is figured out in prep. When we get it,
Right.
it's Lego. We have instruction. Put it together. It all goes together the same way. It comes apart the same way. When I'm doing TV stuff, it's a little different because we have mild challenges on how to do stuff, but it's the rigging aspect of film and TV when you're out on a location and you don't have any, you have your standard practices of like, let's take pre-rigging a house for a location, a location. We do something called four cornering, which is where we have power in one place, and then we have power distribution at the four corners of the house, and then we can spider off of that to power lights and video village and all of that stuff. But I did rigging for a show a few years back where we were at a place called the Porsche Experience down in South Atlanta in Hapeville.
Right.
That building was designed to be aesthetically pleasing, and it is. It's a very nice non-standard building, which meant rigging electrics in there was a nightmare. And we did not, it's not the kind of place where you can say, oh, well, go to this corner and do that, because it's like you go to this corner and then all of a sudden you're at, the garage entrance to the racetrack behind the building. Or, we can't go up this wall because the nearest place we can tie off to is 30 feet up in the air and we don't have access to that. And it's even worse in a place like that because it's like, we can't modify the building at all. So we have to modify our equipment to make it work.
Right.
And sometimes that means, getting non-standard equipment. Sometimes that means breaking equipment. It means cutting and, fabricating our own stuff. And, I think you're right. There is this mentality of, it has to maintain its value. It has to be pristine, new in box. We,
those same people will see the mod you do and think it's rad too.
yeah. And it's like, well, you can do this. And it's like, well, I don't know anybody who sews. Okay. So find someone, ask your friend group. Hell, jump on Fiverr and pay somebody to walk you through it, if you can, or just, go to YouTube University and figure it out. There's a lot of weird, not weird. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Diametrically opposed thought processes.
Right.
I'll give you a perfect example. You can go to just about any prepping channel and you look at their bug out bag or, their the gun that they run or whatnot. And it's like, this is my AR platform and I've spent 3 years building it and it's the perfect gun. And I was and I put, I go to the range, I put, 500 rounds down range every time I go to the range. It's, you got to invest in protecting yourself and all of this shit. And it's like, okay, that's great. What radio do you have in your kit? Oh, I have a $20 Baofeng radio. But, like, okay, don't get me wrong. I have a bunch of those too, but they're to hand out to people. They're already programmed. It's like, all you got to do is press the number. It goes to that frequency and hit key to talk. I'm not expecting you to know how to operate a ham radio or anything like that. It's an emergency. You just need to be able to communicate. But it never ceases to amaze me. I've got this bag from Vertex and it was $400 and I've got this, $200 pocket knife and da 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 da. It's like, okay, great. What's your comms plan? I got a Baofeng radio. Uh, mm, you what? No, no, no. Why? Why? I know why. Guns are fun. Guns are expensive. Guns are expensive to feed. Bags are cool. Bags are expensive. Radio? Most people don't think it's that cool. Fewer people want to pay the price tag for decent radios. I get it. But I'm also just like, what the hell? It's frustrating because, like, here. Okay, so here's the best thing: the radios I'm talking about, the cheap $20 radios. Actually,
Right?
hold on a sec. Hold on. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I literally have one. Boop, right there. It's a ham radio, but it can be. Yeah, I know. You'll see it in a minute. It's literally a 2-pack of these was like $40 on the Bezos boat. And they can be modded to use different frequency sets outside of the ham radio spectrum. Which is good because then you can get on non-standard frequencies and whatnot. But it's like, this to me is disposable. This is something that I'm going to hand off to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, and I'm going to be like, push this button, take a breath, talk into it. That's how you use it. If you're doing any kind of comms protocol, you go, whatever, that's irrelevant. This is not my everyday radio, because this is cheap Chinese garbage. But it's like,
You have to have that because we have to assume we're in a situation in which we have to be covert.
yeah.
And that means we can't use our normal communication methods, which is what we're doing right now.
Well,
So we have to leave the phone behind. We have to leave all the trackers behind. And the only way that you're going to be able to communicate is with a radio like that. It's nice that you have $100 one, bro,
yeah.
but you're gonna need a spotter. You're gonna need a buddy. You gotta have theirs too.
And my beef is not that people have these radios. My beef is that people do not take this as seriously as the rest of their kit. And this is this is definitely top 5 most important thing in that kit, depending on what kind of environment you're in. But again, even these can be flippin' modified to make them stupid easy to use. But people don't want to do that. I don't know why people don't want to put in the effort to make things better or easier for themselves. Getting back to the small kits, it's like, why? Go soak your hands in ice water for a minute and a half and then try to manipulate some of that stuff. You're not going to fucking do it. Just make the gear work for you, not the other way around. I guess ultimately is what this comes down to. If your bag doesn't work, figure out why and make it work for you. If your pocket knife doesn't work for you, okay. In the summer, when I work rock and roll or when I'm working on the stages, I use this knife. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to manipulate with just my thumb. When it's cold and if I'm doing like outdoor gigs, I'm using a not much bigger knife. The knife is about twice the size of this, but it's got easier to manipulate buttons or button for when my hands are cold or when my hands are in gloves. I could use this knife all year round, but it doesn't work optimally for it. So therefore I'm not tethered to this. It's like, I need a knife. I don't need this knife. I need the knife that works best for me in whatever situation I'm in. And there are people out there who have the same mentality. It's like, oh, yeah, I need whatever. But it's like, then it's like, it doesn't work 100% how they want it to. and they refuse to put any effort into making it better. It's just mod your
It's
shit.
easier to complain.
It really is. Look at me. I'm doing nothing but complaining. I'm going on 40 minutes of bitching about other people's mistakes.
Well, we've given some tips on what you can do to modify.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a joke from a video game, but I really do weapons and equipment OSP,
Yeah.
and you can't do that shit unless you know how to make one thing another thing.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. You know, um, it's, I'd mentioned this earlier when I was talking about my EDC bag, and I don't really carry any tools or anything in it because I've usually got my tools with me either in my truck or at work where I'm at or at home where I'm at. I'm going to pull from that resource. I don't need to double up. I don't need to, burden myself with that crap. Not when I have, ready access to it. It,
I've never talked to you about my bags either. Actually, I prefer a chest bag where He-Man keeps his shield.
oh
Where
yeah.
I prefer to keep my stuff. Yeah, when I'm doing those long walks, uh, when I'm walking for 8 hours at a time, that's how I prefer to keep the drinks, the supplies,
Right.
everything I need is right there.
So those are actually becoming a lot more common. It's trickled down from the military use where they would have the admin pouches on their chest and whatnot. I'm seeing a lot more of them, not only on set, but like when I drive through Midtown to get to work, I'll see joggers have them or people walking their dogs have them, and it's like, when did this happen? When did this become socially acceptable? And not
It started in Korea.
yeah.
Korea streetwear. It was Korean street fashion that I did.
And it's not like, oh, it's black or it's gray or it's cam. Like we're talking like some ostentatious colors. I mean, like vibrant stuff, Tiffany blue. It's just like, oh, look, it's a fashion accessory now. It's a functional fashion accessory. And again,
I'm telling you, man, it started off as Korean street fashion.
yeah,
They started wearing reflective vests and Dickies pants with the big orange stripe on it and stuff like that.
mm,
And they started wearing bags that they claim was for the subway, but was more fashion than anything else. And yeah, it's just spread out from there, which is why they're ugly, but that's the point.
right. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like in the prepping community, there's the gray man concept where you're supposed to blend in with
Right.
your surroundings, and we live in Atlanta. Tell me exactly what I'm supposed to blend in with here. Am I supposed to blend in with the business guy wearing the puffy vest and the khakis, or the homeless guy that he just ignored, or the dude, selling key rings full of his, thumb drives full of his homemade MP3 tracks, or the weird barista with the half shaved hair? Who am I supposed to blend in with? I just,
We have talked about this before. My Superman suit
yeah,
came in handy just the other day,
yeah,
actually. Uh, I had to buy something from a store where it would be bad if they asked if I worked as the delivery man.
right.
And I've been in that store plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
So all I had to do was do the reverse sync and back into Clark Kent,
Right.
and then I was able to just walk in, buy it, and they never knew it was the same person they saw just an hour ago buying something else.
There is.
I know,
there,
I know.
it's
Like those gray men need to learn from me, man. They need
right.
to completely boost my style. My fit's great.
Like, look at me. I am safety high vis vest guy. That's great. Move
If you want
along.
to talk about it now, that actually backfired once for the first time.
Oh yeah.
I had somebody confront me and get in my face about it.
Oh, what happened?
They thought I was suspicious as hell. I was in the Target. I had to buy an entire outfit for a 16-year-old girl, and I am moving quickly because this is an area I don't know well.
Right.
So I'm going here, 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 looking for the right thing.
Right.
And that lady thought I was following her around and
Oh.
taking stock of everything she was buying. So she was like, "Do you work here?" I'm like, "Oh no." And she goes, "Because you're suspicious. Call the police on you." And I was like, "What?" And then one of the employees was walking by that knows me pretty well, and I'm like, Do I look suspicious?" And she's like, "No." And that lady stormed off with her cart and went to the other side of the store because I had set off her alarm, her something ain't right alarm, and it was because I was moving too quickly, popping in and out of every aisle she was in too short of a time,
Right.
in a bright red shirt that had a name that said, "I am not security."
Jeez. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna stalk somebody through the aisles of Target, you might as well, be as high vis as possible.
Hmm.
Wow.
Well, I got a little too high vis, so I thought I'd give that follow up since we had talked about it before. But
Yeah.
overall, my super suit is actually pretty great.
Nice. It's funny. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've been going to one of the amphitheaters or whatnot, and it'll be this whole big security show of going through the metal detectors and going through the wand and whatnot. And it's like, okay, you, you didn't you didn't do this morning when I was here for the load in. What are you doing? Why? I'm obviously crew. You know, I came in, I gave you my name. My name is on the list. What the fuck? Diverting or distraction. Ultimately, I think this is something that you and I are 100% in agreement on. You should be making your equipment work for you, not the other way around.
Damn right.
What? Let me ask you this, because you've built this impressive simulator. And if you haven't, if any of my one or two watchers is interested, it's Project SimStar, SIMMSTARR. Yes, two M's, two R's,
No, one M.
one M.
No, just one M.
SIMSTARR. So check out Project SimStar also on the YouTubes. He does Elite Dangerous and Star Wars Squadrons, and it can get interesting, especially when I'm on there,
Look,
because he doesn't like when I cuss on his stream, and it's a very difficult habit for me to pause. um, but
take a look. Actually, open this link if you've got that set up in OBS.
I don't
It's
know
only
how to.
26 seconds long.
Okay, so two things. One, I don't know how to do that in general, and two, when I updated OBS last time, it dumped like 90% of my settings. So I am currently just on this one camera and my audio feeds until I get everything restored.
I absolutely understand that happened to you. I'm not saying it's a user thing at all, but just to be aware that is extremely rare. OBS has gotten good at not losing your settings. That's just FYI.
Well, I have a feeling that I had made some configurations that I didn't save, or like I had opened up and I had started tinkering with something and then I did the upgrade.
Mhm.
So it's I firmly put it on my I probably did not save everything before I did the upgrade. So that's I don't blame OBS at all. Um
But the reason, one of the habits I've gotten on my stream is just to stop the game and open Google and just look it up. That's why I'm like, hey, here, look at this link, and then you can like we'll sit here on YouTube watching YouTube. It's totally a thing you can do.
right. Um so what I was going to ask you real quick is, in building the star, especially because I know you like going to the Amazon open box store. What's
Mhm.
what are some what are some what are some ways that you have used stuff to either
Mhm.
fabricate the star or to get it to be where you want it?
Mhm. It's a little bit of everything. I did build my own controller box because there wasn't one that would do exactly what I wanted. I made my own configurations and software for my touchscreens, things like that. Talking about that Amazon store, one of the reasons I get so weirdly excited about that store is the first time I walked in, they had a 4-point harness for a simulator. Why? They did for $2. What the hell? and they had stabilizers for simulators, and you've seen me buy too much steel. I have enough. I can't buy any more.
Right.
But steel, when you're dealing with uh, simulator parts, it is just like your topic of prepping and buying the right bag, and everybody buys this tactical stuff,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, I just need a place of black coated steel in a drill, right? I don't need one with 1,000 points so I can put on everything in the world. I need to put on the shit I own.
Right.
So I buy a piece of thick steel that would normally sell for 50 to 75 bucks. I just bought it for two, and all I got to do is drill the hole points myself. So
Right.
it's zip zip, bolt bolt, slap onto the star. That's how I've gotten as far as I've gotten. There's all kinds of things on the SimStar that do look very professional, but are actually just pieces of steel that I've repurposed for other things.
Nice.
I just added some monitor stabilizers. I need some new bolts. I don't have the right bolts, but
Yeah.
I just added some monitor stabilizers onto the Star that they don't even sell. Like this isn't because normally you don't mount the screen to the motion platform like I do.
Right.
So there is a stabilizing beam to go from here to there. So I just built it. Like I just made it. Like screw that.
Oh, speaking of that Amazon store, this is completely off topic. You remember that tire that I bought the first time I went in there? I found the exact
Yeah.
tire for my bicycle. Um,
Right.
I just got a sales email it's about a week ago now that the company is now phasing out those tires, so the remainder of their
Oh
stock was
no.
on sale for half off. So I
Was it
bought
was it a
another.
dollar?
No, no, no. The original tires are like
Yeah,
90 bucks, 100 bucks.
I
Um,
know. Yeah. So it's
but
like 40 bucks.
so it's like 45 bucks, like 50 bucks after shipping. So now once that one comes in, I will basically gotten those tires for essentially 25 bucks a piece when they were originally $100
Right.
tires. So,
Hmm. That store is weird about that, about having
yeah.
exactly what you want. But yeah, you go there and you'd use the Carmack method. I know there are several things I need to solve, some on the simulator, some off, some camera piece of equipment, things I need, and I go through and I look at all their different weird shit, and I'm like, how will this? Can this solve a problem? Can this
Right.
solve a problem? So I'm not buying stuff because the deal's good. I'm looking for things I know I need, and then I find them. For example, I found a big bag of black bungee cord with the hooks on them, which I actually needed to finish off the haptic ability of the seatbelt.
Hmm.
So, had I just seen bungee cords, I'm like, I don't think I need any bungee cords right now. But if I'm like, oh yes, I need literal springiness for this. I need this elasticity, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to swap them out every once in a while. So boom, buy those too.
Yeah. There you go. We're coming up on 55 minutes. I think it's a good place to wrap up. I mentioned
Alrighty.
before you jumped on that because of my chaotic schedule, this live stream thing does not really seem to be working in my favor. So what I'm going to try to do is go back to just producing like an episode every 2 weeks with an aim to do a live stream like once a month until
Okay.
I can establish a proper pattern. Um, and the episode thing is,
Well,
is
you
something.
probably would have felt better if I had been there. I'm sorry I was late. I know how that feels to sit there
Oh
with nobody
no,
there.
no, 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 because like I've missed the past couple weeks of doing it, just
Hmm.
between work and stuff here at the house. Um, it's especially with me, like when I'm on a TV show for like 6 months at a time and I know what my schedule is, it would have been fine. But I'm all over the place right now, and it's like, okay, I can't keep up with the live stream if I'm not even sure I'm going to be available on those hours. So
Right.
I'm just going to shelf the live stream and aim to do produced content. Like I say, an episode every 2 weeks is what I'm thinking right now, with a live stream once a month. And you're still up for Cinegear tomorrow, yeah?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Then we'll talk more about that when I see you. Um, because having an extra set of hands for production would be fan freaking tastic. Um, but That being said, um, for the handful of people that have tuned into these, because we actually have like 3 views, so and it's not just you and me chatting online for no reason. I definitely thank the people who have chimed in and taken the time to watch. I'm going to be uh, figuring out what an actual release schedule will be, and then I'll put together a video that says, okay, I'm going to release on, the 1st and 15th or whatever it's going to be. I never know how to wrap these things up either. That's another thing. It's like I don't know what to say.
Until next time, look out for yourself. Help others if you can, especially now. This is not the time to be silent and to yourself. Never punch down. Start punching up if you're at all able to do so. Look out for yourself, and we'll see you next time.
Fantastic. That is outstanding. So that's been Wacko. I'm Gumby. I'm Mike. Thanks for watching, and we're gonna go ahead and sign off now. So thanks much.
Good night, everybody.
I figured out how to do that.